Baba Vanga, the blind clairvoyant from Russia, was right again. Yes, she has always foreseen things that will take your breath away. Chernobyl? She foresaw it. She spoke of a black river poisoning everything. Sounds pretty damn like the nuclear disaster, doesn't it? And that wasn't all. Remember September 11th? The world stood still as the towers fell, and Baba Vanga had seen it coming. 2 great birds will fall from the sky, and the blood of innocents will flow, she said. And that's exactly what happened. Coincidence? I think not. And now it gets even more exciting. Because you're probably wondering why the hell it's so important to know such predictions. Sure, there are a lot of weirdos out there pretending to see the future, but Baba Vanga? She was real. And the things she said went way beyond mere predictions. She spoke of a deeper connection, a kind of secret knowledge that's only accessible to a select few. Imagine that, there are forces at play far beyond what you see in the news, and Baba Vanga was one of the select few who could understand those forces. But now pay attention. What did she predict for the coming winter? Are you ready? Baba Vanga said that this winter will be worse than most could ever imagine. She spoke in riddles, as she always did, but one of them really does make your blood run cold. The Great Bear is dying. What could that possibly mean? Is it a metaphor for Russia staggering in world politics? Or is there an even darker secret behind it, perhaps a reference to an impending natural disaster that will freeze us all to death? And that's not all. Baba Vanga has predicted a series of events for this winter that could turn the world completely upside down. But don't worry, I'll reveal them all to you. Yes, you heard right, every single prophecy revealed right here, right now. You think that's it? Think again. What Baba Vanga left us is more than just a warning. It's a chance to prepare ourselves before the inevitable happens. So hold on, because what's coming next will open your eyes, literally. If there's one thing the past teaches us, it's that sometimes we ignore the signs right in front of our eyes. And no one showed this better than Baba Vanga. This blind seer, whose predictions were often ridiculed and dismissed as superstition, foresaw events with a precision that sends a cold shiver down your spine. But back then, hardly anyone wanted to listen to her. Let's start with one of the most uncanny hits, Baba Vanga's predictions about the Chernobyl disaster. Years before it happened, she warned of a black river that would poison everything. People didn't understand it, until the disaster occurred in April. The radioactive material flowed like an invisible river across the land, poisoning the earth, the water, and the air. Thousands died, and even more are still suffering from the consequences today. But Baba Vanga had seen it coming. No one paid attention to her words until it was too late. Imagine how world history would have turned out differently if we had listened to her back then. But it wasn't just natural disasters and terrorist attacks that she foresaw. Baba Vanga also warned of political changes that would shake the world order to its core. She predicted the collapse of the Soviet Union, a political earthquake that rocked Europe and the world in the 1990s. Even before the Iron Curtain fell, she knew it was coming. Not only that, but she spoke of extreme groups that would rise to plunge the world into chaos. Sound familiar? The last few decades have been marked by political upheaval, terrorist attacks, and new extremist movements destabilizing countries and continents. If you think that was all Baba Vanga had to offer, just wait. She also predicted natural disasters that were so devastating that entire nations trembled. Do you remember the tsunami that hit Asia and cost thousands of lives? Baba Vanga warned of a gigantic wall of water that would crash onto the country. Her words sounded surreal at the time, almost impossible, until it happened. She also warned of massive earthquakes that would shake the world. And indeed, year after year we experience natural disasters that are becoming more and more extreme. It is as if she had read the secret script of the earth long before the events became reality. But that's not the end of her prophecies. Baba Vanga's visions were more than mere predictions of catastrophe. They were spiritual warnings to humanity. She often said that these catastrophes were not just random events, but signs of humanity's wrongdoing, of our spiritual and moral missteps. It was as if she was warning us all that we had taken a wrong turn, a turn that was distancing us from nature, from our true selves, and from a higher wisdom. Yet her warnings were not heeded. The world ignored them and continued on its destructive course. And now we are here. What do these past prophecies mean for us today? Can we afford to ignore the signs again? If Baba Vanga predicted so many events with uncanny precision, what does it mean for what she foresaw happening this winter? She spoke of an impending catastrophe, of a great bear that is dying. It's hard not to draw a parallel to the crises building around us, be it political, climatic, or economic. Are we turning a blind eye to the signs again? Are we repeating the mistakes of the past and refusing to take the warnings seriously? History has shown us that we should not dismiss these predictions lightly. What if Baba Vanga is right again? What if the future she sees for us has already begun to unfold? Now we come to a prophecy that eclipses even the wildest predictions of Baba Vanga. The Great Bear is dying. What could this possibly mean? For many who are familiar with the symbols of the political landscape, the thought of Russia immediately springs to mind. Russia, the country that has been known as the bear for centuries, could be the key to this gloomy prophecy. But before we jump to conclusions, let's dig deeper. What if the Great Bear isn't just a symbol for a country? What if this symbol points to something bigger, to a power that is decaying before our eyes, politically, environmentally, or even spiritually? Let's look at the current situation. Russia has long played a central role in global geopolitics, especially when it comes to energy and power. But the winter of 2024 could be a turning point. Imagine that the energy crises we are already experiencing become more intense. Even today, Europe is highly dependent on Russian energy, and if Baba Vanga is right, we could soon find ourselves in a situation where this resource runs out, whether due to geopolitical tensions, internal conflicts, or ecological disasters. And that brings us back to the Great Bear lying dying. Russia has always been a mysterious country, one that reflects both external strength and internal weakness. The tensions brewing in the East are undeniable. Baba Vanga repeatedly mentioned that the East, and Russia in particular, plays a central role in her visions of the future. What if the coming winter were to bring these tensions to a head? What if internal power struggles or external enemies bring down the Great Bear? The energy crisis that may be in store for us could be just the tip of the iceberg. The geopolitical consequences would be enormous, but that's not all. Because what if this crisis is not just physical? There is a deeper level to this prophecy that we cannot ignore, the spiritual crisis. The Great Bear does not only represent a nation or a political system, but also something spiritual. Over the centuries, great powers have often lost touch with true values. They have been consumed by the pursuit of power, greed, and materialism, an alienation from the deeper spiritual truths that should be the foundation of any civilization. Baba Vanga repeatedly emphasized this alienation in her visions. The Great Bear may also symbolize a society that has lost its soul, that has lost touch with the values of compassion, wisdom, and harmony with nature. If the Great Bear is really dying, then this could also point to a profound spiritual crisis affecting not only Russia but the whole world. It is no coincidence that the greatest political and economic crises often go hand in hand with a spiritual void. Could it be that humanity itself is losing its connection to higher values and principles? In a world increasingly shaped by materialism and the pursuit of power, we may be paying the price for our estrangement. This crisis of the Great Bear could affect us as a global community, because if a great power falls, no one is safe. And that brings us to an even more sinister question. What happens to the collective consciousness of humanity if the Great Bear actually dies? Imagine that one of the most powerful nations in the world, both politically and spiritually, is reeling and falling. What does that mean for all of us? If we take Baba Vanga seriously, then the demise of the Great Bear could be more than just a geopolitical event. It could shake the collective consciousness of humanity. The world as we know it could be thrown into chaos if this prophecy comes true. In the winter of 2024, the world could be at a crossroads. Will we learn from the mistakes of the past, or march blindly into a new era of uncertainty? The signs are everywhere. It's as if we're on the brink of tremendous change, and the question we have to ask ourselves is, are we ready? Baba Vanga has warned us, and if we ignore the signs now, the price could be unimaginably high. There comes a point when you can no longer ignore the signs, and that point is now. The earth is fighting back. Baba Vanga, the wise seer, always saw a deep connection between the state of the earth and the spiritual state of humanity. Her visions have often indicated that the way we live, the way we treat nature, will inevitably lead to disaster if we continue down the wrong path. And now we may be facing one of the darkest winters humanity has ever known. Winter 2024 could be marked by extreme natural disasters, just as Baba Vanga prophesied. She spoke of a rising water that would flood people. Sounds scary? Let's stop for a moment and think about what that could mean. Melting glaciers, rising sea levels, the melting of the Arctic ice. None of this is a vision of the future anymore, it is reality. Science has been warning us for years that we are heading for disaster, but Baba Vanga saw it long before modern climate research. She warned of a flood that would overwhelm humanity, and if we look around, that seems to be happening. The ice is melting, the seas are rising, and the balance of nature is being upset. But it's not just water. Baba Vanga also spoke of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions that would increase in frequency and intensity. In her visions, she saw the earth shaking, as a sign that humanity has taken the wrong path. Earthquakes have always had a special spiritual significance. They symbolize the moment when the earth defends itself against the abuse we have inflicted on it. And volcanic eruptions? They are not only physical explosions, but also a symbol of the earth's pent-up anger. It is as if nature is warning us that we cannot get away with treating it this way. The question that arises here is, how long will we continue to close our eyes to the obvious signs? Melting glaciers, rising seas, increasing natural disasters, these are all symptoms of an earth in turmoil. But Baba Vanga saw not only physical catastrophes in these events, but spiritual signs as well. Signs that humanity has lost touch with nature, with itself and with higher values. We live in a world driven by consumerism, the pursuit of power and greed. Our cities are growing, our technology is rapidly evolving, but at what cost? The earth is clearly showing us that we cannot keep exploiting without expecting consequences. Baba Vanga warned us. She said that the earth would rebel if we did not learn to live in harmony with it. These natural disasters that are befalling us are not just physical events, they are the earth's wake-up call. A wake-up call that asks us to pause and rethink our actions. It's not just about environmental policy or climate protection. It is about how we live as human beings. Are we in harmony with nature, with ourselves and with the spiritual values that should guide us? Or have we become entangled in a web of greed and the pursuit of power that blinds us to the true needs of our world? The spiritual significance of climate change is much more profound than one might initially suspect. Every flood, every earthquake, every volcanic eruption is a sign that the earth is losing its balance, and that is due to us. The earth is not just a resource for us to exploit. It is a living organism that must remain in balance, and we humans are part of that balance. But as long as we ignore this connection, as long as we believe that we are above nature, the earth will continue to send signs until we finally listen. And what does that mean for us now, in the winter of 2024? It means that we have to prepare. Not only practically, by preparing for more extreme weather events, energy crises, and economic uncertainty, but also spiritually. Baba Vanga spoke of the fact that humanity's greatest challenge is not only physical. It lies in the fact that we have to restore our connection to the earth, to nature, and to spiritual truths. Winter 2024 could be a time of great challenge, but also a time of deep insight if we are willing to learn. It's time we asked ourselves, are we ready for what's coming? Do we have the spiritual and emotional strength to face the challenges ahead? Baba Vanga warned us that the earth would strike back at us if we didn't listen to her. And perhaps what we are experiencing now is the beginning of a new era. An era in which we are forced to reconnect with nature and with ourselves. We are on the brink of an unprecedented time. The winter of 2024 could bring more than we could ever have imagined, not only natural disasters, but also human crises of enormous proportions. Baba Vanga, who saw deep into the future in her visions, warned us not only of the forces of nature, but also of massive social and economic unrest. A time of despair when the very foundation of our society is shaken. And as the world plunges into chaos and uncertainty, this winter could be the grim fulfillment of her predictions. Imagine what could happen: economies collapse, unemployment soars, and entire populations struggle for survival. An economic crisis that tears at the fabric of society and sparks social unrest on a scale not seen in decades. Baba Vanga spoke of a time when people would be pushed to their limits, forced to fight for the bare necessities. Could it be that we are already on the cusp of that very phase? But this crisis is not just economic or social. It goes much deeper. It is a spiritual void that is eating away at our society from within. For decades, people have distanced themselves from their inner wisdom. We have lost ourselves in a world of constant consumption, distractions, and materialism. And now we stand, without direction, without support, in a world that increasingly seems alien to us. It is as if we have lost the essential, as if we have left the compass that guides us through life somewhere along the way. The uncertainty we experience is not just an external phenomenon, it reflects the uncertainty we carry within ourselves. Baba Vanga saw this inner emptiness and warned us about it. She spoke of a society that has become increasingly distant from its inner wisdom, its spirituality, and the true values of life. This emptiness, this feeling of being lost, is now manifesting itself in a world that is increasingly polarized and divided. All around us, we see conflicts escalating. Political parties, social movements, even families are being torn apart by opposing beliefs. Baba Vanga foresaw these conflicts and warned that this increasing polarization could be the seed for even greater catastrophes. If we don't learn to build bridges instead of walls, this division could pull us all into the abyss. But herein lies the paradoxical beauty of Baba Vanga's predictions. Because as bleak and ominous as these crises may seem, they are not the end. They are the beginning of a transformation that passes through suffering and pain. Baba Vanga also saw in crisis the possibility of renewal, an opportunity for humanity to reinvent itself. She spoke of a necessary passage through darkness to rediscover the light. It is as if humanity, which has been on the wrong path for too long, needs a rude shock to wake up and refocus on what is essential. Yes, it will be painful. And yes, many will feel lost. But this pain, this crisis, could also offer us the opportunity to reflect on ourselves and grow. Perhaps these challenges will force us to let go of superficial things and find our way back to our inner values. It is a time of transformation in which we can reshape not only the world around us but also ourselves. The question now is, are you ready? Are you ready for the challenges ahead? Baba Vanga warned us, and now it is up to us to prepare. Not just physically, by stocking up on economic crises and social unrest, but also spiritually. In times of darkness, we need an inner anchor, something to hold us when everything else around us is breaking down. What spiritual practices can you incorporate into your life to help you survive this winter of despair? Perhaps it is meditation, perhaps it is prayer, perhaps it is the simple act of connecting with nature. Whatever it is, now is the time to cultivate these practices. For only those who are prepared internally will be able to navigate these times of change without losing their way. This winter will not only be a time of challenge, it will also be a time of enlightenment and awakening for those who are ready to accept change. Baba Vanga didn't just warn us of the crisis, she also gave us the key to transformation. Now it's up to us to use that key and become a new, better version of ourselves through the coming suffering. The darkness that is coming is not the end. It is the beginning. We are on the cusp of a winter that could bring more than we could ever imagine. Baba Vanga, who foresaw so many events, left us one last message for the year 2024. A dire prophecy that simultaneously forewarns us and offers the key to preparation. Not all will make it through. These words sound like a dark curtain that is falling over our future. Yet if we listen closely, we realize that this is not just a warning. It is also a call to action, a wake-up call that we must prepare for what is coming in a deeper spiritual way. Baba Vanga knew that the winter of 2024 would be a time when it is not just about survival in the physical sense. It is about much more. It is about spiritual awakening. Only those who are willing to look within, cleanse their souls and connect to a deeper level with themselves and the world will survive the challenges. It won't be enough to stockpile supplies or rely on external security. The real key lies in spiritual preparation. Because in times of darkness, when chaos rages around us, it is inner peace and wisdom that guides us through the storms. What does this mean for you? It means that now is the time to embark on a journey within. Baba Vanga foresaw it. The path to inner wisdom is the crucial step to not only surviving the coming crises, but emerging from them stronger. This crisis, as dire as it may seem, is a chance to rediscover yourself. It is a moment of transformation in which you can find the deeper truths of life if you are willing to look for them. An important part of this preparation is the protection and cleansing of your soul. In times of change, it is imperative to put your inner world in order to withstand the external storms. How can you do this? Start with simple yet powerful spiritual practices. Baba Vanga often spoke of the importance of purification. Purifying rituals, whether through meditation, prayers, or simple acts of introspection, can help you rid yourself of the negative energies that may be surrounding you. Meditation, immersing yourself in the silence of your mind, is an especially potent tool. It helps you reconnect with yourself and prepare your soul for what may be to come. Remember that you are not alone. Another important message that Baba Vanga left behind is the importance of community and unity. The winter of 2024 could become a time of great hardship, but also a time when we discover the true strength of community. In her vision, Baba Vanga saw that only those who unite can overcome the darkness. Fighting alone may seem tempting, but true strength comes from togetherness. Seek out like-minded people, people who are willing to prepare spiritually for these times. Together you will be stronger, together you will overcome the darkness. The message here is clear: preparing for winter 2024 goes beyond the material. It is not just about physically preparing for the challenges ahead. The true path lies in connecting to your inner self, in purifying your soul and nurturing your community. You may wonder how to begin. The first step is simple. Take a few minutes each day to turn inward. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and connect with the silence within you. This silence will be your anchor when the world around you is raging. Now, the road ahead may seem challenging, but it is also full of possibilities. It is up to us how we use this time. Will we let fear guide us, or will we act with inner peace and wisdom? Baba Vanga has already given us the answer. Those who are prepared, physically and spiritually, will not only survive the coming darkness, but will also emerge from it stronger. Winter 2024 is not just a time of danger. It is a time of renewal, a time when we have the chance to redefine ourselves and find our place in this world. I hope you have learned something that you will carry with you for a long time. I know that all of this may be a bit overwhelming. I felt the same way at the beginning, and I had more questions than answers in my head. Nevertheless, I think the video you see here could be of particular help to you in your current situation. I know you are looking for more answers. You will find them in this video, so click on it now and watch it.